On our 25th wedding anniversary, my husband stood before 100 guests and announced he wanted a divorce. 25 years is more than enough, he declared with a cold smile. I deserve someone young and exciting now. Oh, and Naomi, you need to vacate the penthouse by Monday morning. His new girlfriend stood in the corner, smirking. His mother, Barbara Chen, nodded approvingly from her seat. I calmly took the microphone from his hands and said something that shattered his world completely. That night began 3 weeks earlier when Naomi Chen woke to hushed voices drifting through the bedroom door. Her husband, Marcus Chen, was on another late-night call with his mother. The clock read 2:45 in the morning. His tone carried an unusual edge of excitement and conspiracy. We need to execute this flawlessly, Marcus whispered into the phone. She cannot see this coming at all. Absolutely not, darling, his mother Barbara replied through the speaker. The woman suspects nothing. Naomi's pulse quickened. What were they orchestrating behind her back? And why just weeks before their major milestone celebration? The wooden floorboards groaned as Marcus ended the call and returned to the bedroom. Naomi shut her eyes instantly, feigning deep sleep. He climbed back into bed, but his body remained rigid and tense beside her. Something was terribly wrong. The following morning felt different. Marcus was unusually tender and attentive. Naomi, my darling, he said, pressing a kiss to her forehead. He wore expensive cologne she didn't recognize. Let's select the venue for our anniversary celebration today. I want every detail to be absolutely perfect. Perfect. Naomi studied him carefully. In 25 years of marriage, Marcus had never shown such enthusiasm for family occasions. She always planned everything while he criticized every choice. All right, she answered cautiously, watching him rush off to his downtown office. His phone sat forgotten on the nightstand, the screen illuminated with an incoming message. Naomi couldn't resist looking. It was a calendar alert. Contact Jay at 10:30 this morning, she asked casually while trimming the orchids by the window. Who is this Jay person in your schedule? Marcus spun around abruptly. For a fraction of a second, genuine panic flashed across his face before he regained composure. Oh, that's Jenkins, a consultant from Boston. Just a routine business discussion, a complete fabrication. Naomi knew her husband's tells intimately. When he lied, his right eyebrow always twitched involuntarily, exactly as it did now. I understand, she replied with a pleasant smile. But internally, her heart constricted with dread. After he departed, Naomi stood at the window overlooking the gray November sky above San Francisco. 25 years, a quarter of a century. They had met during graduate school. She was a brilliant finance student with a full scholarship. He was an ambitious consultant climbing the corporate ladder. They married young, filled with dreams of building a family and creating a beautiful life together. But children never arrived. Medical examinations revealed no problems. Yet, the miracle never manifested. Marcus struggled with this reality, especially when his mother Barbara began making pointed comments about lacking grandchildren. Eventually, they accepted their childless status and focused on the advantages: more freedom for travel, career advancement, and personal pursuits. But something fundamental had fractured between them. A sharp knock interrupted her thoughts. Standing at the door was Barbara Chen, her mother-in-law, wearing her characteristic icy smile. Naomi, sweetheart, she said, entering the penthouse without awaiting invitation. How are preparations progressing for the party? Barbara always treated Naomi with exaggerated politeness, while maintaining considerable emotional distance. In 25 years, she had never once referred to Naomi as her daughter. Coming along nicely, Naomi responded, leading her to the living room. Marcus wants to celebrate at an upscale restaurant. Excellent choice, Barbara replied brightly. A prestigious venue with distinguished guests. Hosting at home simply doesn't convey the importance of such a milestone. She began surveying the living room as though appraising its value. Naomi recognized that look. It always communicated without words that Barbara's estate in Pacific Heights was grander and more tastefully decorated. Incidentally, Naomi dear, Barbara said, settling into the leather armchair, I've been contemplating future matters. Marcus is not getting younger. He's 52 now. And, well, there are no grandchildren. Don't you think establishing a will for potential heirs would be prudent, just as a precaution? Naomi felt ice water in her veins. What potential heirs, Barbara? We have no children. Well, for my nephews naturally, she said dismissively, waving her hand. I have 2 nephews, excellent young men, pursuing advanced degrees and building careers. Without proper planning, the government claims everything. Naomi slowly set her teacup on the marble table. And where exactly do you keep the property deed documents? Barbara asked suddenly, as if it were merely casual curiosity. I'm simply thinking about the boys' futures, the nephews, the younger generation. The subtext was crystal clear. They're secured in the safe, Naomi replied coolly. But why this sudden interest? Oh, just preparedness. One never knows what circumstances might arise. It's wise to know where important documents are located. After Barbara finally departed, Naomi sat in profound silence, connecting the pieces. The midnight phone conversations, Marcus's strange burst of affection, and now, Barbara's probing questions about the property title. Gradually, the puzzle was assembling, and the emerging picture was deeply troubling. She went to examine Marcus's computer. He had never changed his password before. He consistently used the date of their first meeting, but this time it failed to work. Her anxiety intensified. In 25 years, he had maintained complete transparency with her. She tried his birthday. Nothing. She tried Barbara's birthday. Nothing. Then inspiration struck. She tried their wedding anniversary in reverse sequence. The screen unlocked. The browser history revealed devastating searches. How to file for divorce with shared property. Spouses' legal rights in asset division. Attorney consultation for marital separation. He had researched all of this during the past 14 days. With trembling hands, she scrolled through page after page. Strategies to retain property during divorce. Legal methods for dividing marital assets. Her phone suddenly rang, startling her. It was her friend Destiny. Naomi, you absolutely won't believe what I witnessed. Your Marcus. I saw him at Tiffany's in Union Square with a young woman. They were examining engagement rings together. She was draped all over him like she owned him. What did she look like? Naomi interrupted quietly. Probably 28. Platinum blonde. Very polished appearance. Wearing designer everything. Attractive, but seemed shallow and superficial. And they were incredibly affectionate in public. Are you all right, Naomi? Yes. Naomi lied smoothly. Everything is perfectly fine. But nothing was fine anymore. That evening, Marcus returned carrying roses and gourmet chocolates. For my one true love, he announced confidently, kissing her deeply. One true love. The irony was devastating, Naomi thought. She looked directly into his eyes. We should discuss our future seriously. Marcus visibly tensed. It was subtle, but she caught it. Discuss what exactly? He asked, switching on the television and pretending absorption in the program. Everything's wonderful, isn't it? The anniversary is only 7 days away. All our friends will attend. Let's not dampen the celebratory mood with heavy conversations. We can talk after the party. Agreed. After the party. That phrase confirmed something significant was planned for the event itself. Naomi nodded, pretending agreement, but felt a terrible coldness spreading through her. After 25 years, she understood her husband thoroughly. He was orchestrating something calculated and ruthless, involving his mother and undoubtedly a lawyer. What Marcus didn't realize was that Naomi possessed her own hidden advantage, something that could demolish all his schemes. And for now, she would reveal absolutely nothing. The next morning, Naomi woke with profound dread, as though absorbing the reality of a catastrophe. Marcus left exceptionally early without breakfast. I have an important meeting, he explained. A meeting, Naomi thought bitterly. She knew precisely who that meeting involved. At 10:15, the landline rang. Marcus had forgotten his cell phone, leaving it face down on the kitchen counter. Naomi didn't answer, allowing the voicemail to record. It's mother. I spoke with Attorney Johnson. Everything can be arranged perfectly. The crucial element is she remains completely unsuspecting until the final moment. Contact me when available. Johnson, supposedly the Boston consultant. Everything suddenly made complete sense. Naomi felt the floor disappearing beneath her. 25 years, a quarter century beside a man now orchestrating her betrayal like a corporate transaction. She approached Marcus's abandoned phone. It required a 6-digit passcode. She tried their first meeting date, August 12, 1998. Incorrect. She tried Barbara's birthday. Nothing. Then intuition guided her to try March 8th, International Women's Day. The phone unlocked. The lover's birthday. The text messages confirmed her worst fears. Jasmine, my darling, just a little more patience. After the anniversary event, everything will be resolved. The penthouse will belong to us. You promised we'd be living together by Christmas. I'm exhausted from hiding. My love, everything is proceeding exactly according to plan. Mother has arranged everything. Naomi suspects absolutely nothing. Johnson says if we execute this correctly, she'll receive only half. I'll keep the penthouse. Naomi collapsed into a chair, hands shaking uncontrollably. They were planning her entire life as though she were disposable property. Marcus, his mother, the attorney Johnson, the mistress Jasmine, all woven into an elaborate trap where she was the target, and worse revelations awaited. Hey, mother, are you certain the penthouse title shows both our names? Perhaps we're fortunate and it's registered solely under mine. Son, I reviewed the copies when you purchased it. Both names appear on the deed, but Johnson claims there are methods. The essential point is obtaining her signature on the waiver document. And if she refuses to sign, she will sign. After what we're planning at the party, she'll have no alternative whatsoever. What were they planning to do to her? Naomi felt panic rising in her throat. They intended to humiliate her before everyone, accuse her of something devastating. Without hesitation, she copied all crucial messages to her own device and carefully replaced Marcus's phone. She needed a strategy. She needed professional assistance. She contacted Deanna Torres, her graduate school friend, now a prominent family law attorney. They rarely spoke, but their friendship endured. Naomi? Diana answered immediately. It's been ages. How are things? Can we meet today? Naomi asked, struggling to maintain composure. I need a legal consultation urgently. Absolutely. I'm available at 5:30. Come to the office and we'll discuss everything. Diana's office occupied a modern tower in the financial district. She greeted Naomi with a warm embrace, but instantly noticed the tension. Sit down. Tell me absolutely everything. What's happening? Naomi took a deep breath. Let's say a friend of mine is experiencing serious trouble with her husband. He wants divorce, but is concealing it, and apparently, he's constructing an elaborate trap. Diana looked at her intently. You're certain this is a hypothetical friend, Naomi? Naomi remained silent briefly, then revealed everything. The midnight conversations, the phone messages, Jasmine, her mother-in-law's manipulation, everything. Diana listened carefully, occasionally requesting clarification. I understand completely, she said finally. This is extremely serious, but you're not defeated. The excellent news is you discovered this early. Tell me about the property. When did you acquire it? Whose name appears on the title? We registered both names in 2006. Equal ownership shares. Are you formally employed? Yes. I'm senior financial analyst at Paramount Investment Group. I've been there 18 years, and the mountain cabin is also jointly owned, but it's relatively modest value. The penthouse is the primary asset. Diana made detailed notes. Naomi, they cannot harm you if you maintain clarity and composure. In divorce proceedings, everyone receives their legal entitlement. Nobody can force you to waive your rightful share. But clearly, they're orchestrating something malicious. They want to create a weak emotional position, a scandal, an accusation, something to break your spirit. You must prepare yourself. How do I prepare effectively? Collect evidence comprehensively. Photograph the messages. Record conversations when possible. Transfer funds into an account exclusively in your name. Most importantly, never let them know you've discovered their plan. Naomi nodded. For the first time in days, she felt something resembling relief. She had a plan. She had support. Thank you, Diana. What do I owe you? Diana smiled warmly. Nothing, girl. Friends don't charge each other. Just keep me updated throughout. And remember, regardless of what happens, you are neither alone nor defenseless. Naomi returned home determined to act decisively. But what she discovered upon arrival confirmed the war had already begun. Marcus stood by the entrance mirror, adjusting his appearance. You look somewhat worn today, don't you? He stated without making eye contact. Forgive my directness, but yes. Naomi, you've neglected yourself recently. Look, turning 50 isn't catastrophic, but you should maintain yourself better. Join a gym, visit the dermatologist, consider some procedures. I encountered Destiny's daughter today. She's 29, but looks 23, very well maintained. And you? Well, you understand my meaning. He was comparing her to younger women, establishing justification for his betrayal. I have a meeting tomorrow, he announced abruptly. It's Saturday, but it will consume the entire day. Another date with Jasmine. That's perfectly fine, Naomi replied calmly. And Sunday, I'm assisting Mother. I'm installing her new entertainment system, spending time with the conspirator's family. That night, while Marcus showered, Naomi reviewed their joint banking account online. During the past month, $32,000 had been withdrawn through multiple transactions: gifts for Jasmine, payments to the attorney, and unknown expenses, all using their shared funds. Naomi released a nervous, bitter laugh. They were using her own money to orchestrate her destruction, but she possessed a secret weapon, something they didn't know existed. 1 week earlier, a certified letter had arrived from an estate attorney. Her Aunt Constance, her mother's elder sister, had passed away in Switzerland. She had no children or spouse. She bequeathed her entire estate to Naomi, her only niece. This included a luxury apartment in Zurich, valued at $900,000 equivalent, a substantial bank account with $620,000 equivalent, another premium investment property in Santa Monica, California, total value exceeding $3.5 million. Naomi hadn't told anyone. She wanted to surprise Marcus at their anniversary, but now that inheritance was her salvation and security. She opened her laptop and began researching estate registration procedures, transferring funds to her personal account, and legally protecting herself from those who viewed her as foolish. Marcus believed he controlled everything, but the game was just beginning. On Monday morning, Naomi woke with absolute clarity. First, she visited a notary, but not the one handling her aunt's estate. She went to see an old acquaintance, Mr. Patterson, the real estate attorney who had assisted with their penthouse purchase years earlier. Naomi Chen. What a pleasant surprise. And how is Marcus doing? Mr. Patterson, an elderly gentleman, greeted her with a smile. Mr. Patterson, I need your assistance, she said, entering his office. But it must remain strictly confidential. The attorney's expression grew serious. Please sit. I'm listening carefully. Do you remember our penthouse on Lombard Street? You handled the title documentation in 2006. Certainly an exceptional property in an excellent building. Do you recall who initially purchased it? I mean, where did the funding originate? Mr. Patterson frowned, opened an archived file, and searched momentarily. Here it is. It was an unusual situation. The funds came directly from your parents' account, and in the gift deed, you are listed as the exclusive recipient. Marcus was added approximately 8 weeks later as your spouse. Naomi felt warmth flooding her chest. So, it's formally a premarital asset. Formally, absolutely. Your parents gifted it to you before Marcus's name appeared on any documents. In divorce proceedings, that can make all the difference. He could only claim something if he proves he invested in substantial improvements. Naomi smiled faintly. Marcus never spent a single dollar on the penthouse. She had managed everything herself. Could you provide me a confirming document? Certainly. Return tomorrow afternoon. It will be prepared. Leaving the office, Naomi felt transformed. After so many agonizing days, she finally felt strong and protected. But what awaited her at home left her breathless. A courier delivered a thick package from Switzerland. The final documentation for Aunt Constance's inheritance. Naomi read the summary with assistance. A luxury apartment in Zurich, valued at $900,000. A bank account with $620,000, and the premium investment property in Santa Monica. More than $3.5 million total. She sat in the living room. She was now a wealthy, independent, liberated woman. But Marcus shouldn't know. Not yet. Her phone rang. It was Marcus, his voice excessively cheerful. Naomi, my darling. I was thinking, what if we truly celebrate our anniversary properly? Colleagues, friends, everyone. Why such an elaborate event, Em? Why? It's 25 years, a silver anniversary. I want everyone to witness what an exceptional couple we are. I already reserved the grand ballroom at the Palace Hotel for 100 guests. 100 people for her public humiliation. Isn't that extremely expensive, Marcus? We're supposed to be saving for retirement. Don't concern yourself, he interrupted. The money is available. The important thing is the impression we make. We'll invite my CEO, yours. Everyone needs to see how happy we are. What profound cynicism and lies. Fine, Naomi said calmly. Whatever you prefer. Perfect. I have a meeting with some partners. We'll discuss tonight. Partners? Naomi knew exactly what that meant. In the afternoon, Barbara Chen arrived carrying a gift. Naomi, sweetheart, she said in a saccharine voice, presenting an envelope. This is from me to you. It's a consultation with an excellent family law attorney, just as a precaution. One never knows. Naomi opened the envelope, a business card, Johnson and Partners, divorce and property law, with a handwritten note. Complimentary consultation anytime. The audacity was breathtaking. They were providing her consultation with the very attorney, orchestrating her betrayal. Thank you, Naomi said coolly. Very thoughtful of you. I worry about your welfare, daughter. Daughter. For the first time in 25 years, her mother-in-law used that term just before stabbing her in the back. After Barbara departed, Naomi began cleaning. In one of Marcus's sport coats, she found a crumpled business card. Attorney Johnson, family law, divorce, asset division, spousal support. The same attorney, the same scheme. Marcus returned home late that night, cheerful and smelling of expensive perfume. He embraced Naomi. Everything is arranged. Restaurant menu, guest list, it will be unforgettable. Naomi looked at him coldly. He was correct. It was going to be unforgettable. Just not as he imagined. M. What perfume are you wearing? That's not your usual cologne. He hesitated. I shared the elevator with a neighbor. She wears extremely strong fragrance, and it transferred to my jacket. One fabrication after another. By the way, he said, walking toward the window, at the anniversary, I'm going to deliver a special speech about our life and our future direction. What direction? You'll discover soon. It's a surprise? A surprise. Naomi felt chills. She couldn't sleep that night. Around 1:30 in the morning, she heard murmuring. Marcus was on the phone in the hallway. She rose quietly and pressed her ear to the bedroom door. Mother, everything is perfect. The hotel is reserved. Guests are confirmed. After the toast, it will all simply happen. Are you certain she doesn't suspect anything? How would she suspect? She's naive like a child. She's always trusted me completely, and she still does. And if she refuses to sign the documents, she will sign. After what I reveal about her in front of everyone, she'll have no other option. Everyone will witness what she truly is, you know. M. Don't you think it would be better to handle this privately at home without creating a scene? No, Mother. It must be in front of everyone. That way, she cannot make a scene or demand explanations. She'll go directly home, and Johnson will be waiting there with the documents. Quick, clean, and no drama. And Jasmine already knows everything. Obviously, she's even attending the anniversary. I want her to meet my colleagues. I'm going to introduce her as my new executive assistant. You're being cruel. It's not cruelty, Mother. It's being practical and realistic. 25 years was sufficient. I deserve to be happy too, even if it's at her expense. Naomi returned to bed, but couldn't sleep. So, Jasmine was going to attend the party too. She was going to witness the humiliation of her rival and then assume her place in the home. That's what they imagined. In the morning, Naomi went to the bank. She opened a personal account and transferred half the money from their joint savings. If Marcus wanted to continue spending on his mistress, he would do it with his portion. Then she went to the attorney for the document, confirming the penthouse was hers from before marriage. Next, she went to her office. "Mr. Richardson," she said to her supervisor, entering his office. "May I speak with you briefly?" "Of course, Naomi Chen. Is everything satisfactory?" "Everything is fine currently. I just wanted to inform you that I will soon be entering a difficult personal phase." "Divorce?" he asked, frowning with concern. "Seriously? I thought you two were absolutely solid. You even invited me to your anniversary." "That's exactly why I want to inform you in advance. If things deteriorate, I hope I can count on your support. My work performance won't be affected. You are the best financial analyst we've had in 18 years. Whatever happens, your position is secure." That night, while Marcus was at another meeting, Naomi took out the inheritance documents. She needed a clear, meticulously planned strategy. The Santa Monica property was currently vacant. Aunt Constance had rented it out, but the lease had terminated 6 weeks ago. Naomi could relocate there after the divorce. With the money in the Swiss bank, she had financial independence for years. And most importantly, the document proving the San Francisco penthouse was hers from before the marriage. Marcus would never see that coming. Tomorrow was the anniversary. He thought he would deliver the final devastating blow, but he was the one about to be blindsided. Naomi put all the documents in the safe and smiled. Thursday morning, she went to the Swiss consulate. She needed to formalize the inheritance to access Aunt Constance's accounts. The consul, an older gentleman with wire-rimmed glasses, reviewed the documents meticulously. "Everything is in order, Mrs. Chen. Your aunt was an exceptionally prudent woman. The bank accounts will be accessible in 7 business days. And regarding the Santa Monica property, ownership transfers to your name immediately. Here are the documents. You can dispose of it as you wish." Naomi carefully placed the documents in her briefcase. She now owned 3 properties, over $1 million in liquid assets, and most valuable of all, complete freedom. That same day, she opened another account in Swiss francs to prepare for the international transfer. The bank advisor, a young woman, looked at the figures in the documents with wide eyes. "Wow, you did exceptionally well with the inheritance, didn't you?" "Yes," Naomi smiled. "My aunt was an incredible woman. Leaving the bank, she felt a tremendous weight lift. For the first time in years, she felt truly free and independent. She no longer cared what Marcus planned. That was no longer her concern. But the surprise waiting for her outside the Palace Hotel was a sharp blow. She had gone to verify the anniversary party arrangements, and right by the entrance, a young blonde woman in an expensive coat was talking on the phone. "My darling, it's incredible," Jasmine was saying in a sickeningly sweet voice. "The ballroom is enormous. The decor is divine. You promised we'd live in a huge penthouse soon, and I can already imagine hosting parties there." It was Jasmine, her husband's mistress. She was only a few feet away, discussing excitedly the life she would have with him. Naomi stood motionless, observing her. There was no doubt she was attractive. Approximately 28, excellent figure, professionally styled hair, perfect manicure. But her eyes were empty, cold, and calculating. Of course, I understand tomorrow will be challenging, Jasmine continued. But you said after your speech she'd understand everything, and I'll be there as your new assistant. Romantic, right? Publicly humiliating your wife is romantic. Naomi walked closer. Excuse me, do you know where the event manager is? Jasmine turned, looked Naomi up and down with disdain. No idea, she replied coldly. I don't work here. She returned to her phone. There's some random lady asking me questions here. Okay, see you tonight. I love you. Some random lady. Naomi smiled to herself. Tomorrow, this lady would deliver a significant surprise. The restaurant manager, a kindly, professional woman, received Naomi with a smile. You're here about tomorrow's anniversary celebration. Mr. Chen already paid for everything. Grand ballroom for 100 guests, gourmet banquet, live orchestra. And how much did all that cost? $48,000. Your husband requested the absolute best of everything. $48,000 to humiliate her publicly. Naomi nodded. I see. May I view the ballroom? Certainly, the room was magnificent. High ceilings, crystal chandeliers, pristine white tablecloths, enormous mirrors on the walls. All the guests would have a perfect view of the spectacle. Where will the microphone for the toast be positioned? Naomi asked. Right here in the center, the manager said. Mr. Chen insisted that everyone hear him clearly. Of course, so no one misses the humiliation. At home, Marcus was waiting, nervous, pacing with documents in his hand. Ah, Naomi, he said, quickly concealing the documents. Where were you? At the hotel, verifying everything. What did you think of it? Impressive. $48,000 for one night. Seriously, don't you think that's excessive? We have other financial priorities, right? Don't concern yourself, he scoffed. The money is available. The important thing is to make an excellent impression on the guests or on the mistress. That night, Barbara Chen arrived completely excited. Son, are you prepared? Did you rehearse your speech? Certainly, Mother. Everything will be perfect. Don't worry at all. She patted his shoulder. Your speech will be a tremendous success. Everyone will see that you made the correct decision. The correct decision. Naomi watched them from the kitchen, the rage building inside. Mother, what if she makes a scene? Marcus asked. She won't, Barbara replied confidently. With so many people present, she'll maintain composure. She's an educated woman. They'll settle things at home. And Johnson, is he prepared? Yes. The documents are completed. All she needs to do is sign. After your speech, she'll have no choice whatsoever. Naomi quietly went to the bedroom and took her own documents from the drawer. She had everything prepared. She put all the documents into a small portfolio. The document stating the penthouse was hers, from before marriage, the inheritance documents, and the statement for her new bank account. Tomorrow, those documents would change everything. Later that night, when Barbara had departed, Marcus locked himself in his study. Naomi heard him rehearsing his speech, murmuring words to himself. She approached the door and listened intently. Dear friends, today is a significant day. 25 years ago, I made a decision that seemed correct. But life progresses, people evolve, and sometimes you have to have the courage to admit your mistakes. Mistakes. 25 years of marriage was his mistake. I thank Naomi for these years, but honesty demands I speak the truth. We are different people with different values, with different plans for the future, and I have made a decision. The rest was muffled, but the meaning was clear. Naomi returned to the bedroom. She had no desire to sleep. In the morning, Marcus woke up in an excellent mood. Naomi, he said, adjusting his tie in front of the mirror, today is a momentous day. Yes, our anniversary. Not just that, he said, smiling strangely. Tomorrow, your life is going to change, and so is mine. Completely. Completely? You'll see. You're going to be surprised. Surprised? Can I ask you a question? Sure. What is it? Did you ever truly love me? Truly? He froze, tie in hand. What a strange question. Why are you asking that on such an important day? Just curious. Of course I loved you, he said without looking at her. And I still love you in my own way. In his own way, like someone who cares for an old piece of furniture that has served its purpose. I understand, Naomi said quietly. Throughout the day, Marcus was frantic, calling the hotel, checking the guest list, giving orders. By the evening, he was visibly anxious. Are you ready, Naomi? She stood before the mirror in a new, elegant navy blue dress bought especially for this day. Ready? Then let's go. It's time for the truth to be known. The truth? Naomi grabbed her purse where the documents rested. Yes, it's time for everyone to know the truth. They didn't speak on the drive. Marcus was nervous, drumming his fingers on the steering wheel. Naomi watched the city lights through the window. 25 years ago, they also rode in silence to the courthouse. But that silence was one of excitement and love. Today, it was the silence before a battle. Naomi, Marcus said when they arrived at the hotel, no matter what happens today, I want you to know that I wish you the best. The best? What a cruel mockery. Thank you, Em, she replied with a serene smile. And I wish you receive exactly what you deserve. The ballroom at the Palace Hotel sparkled magnificently. 100 guests were seated at round tables with white roses and gold candles. At the head table sat the hosts. Naomi smiled and accepted congratulations. But inside, she was tense. The blow was coming any minute. Naomi, you look absolutely stunning today, said Rebecca, a co-worker, 25 years together. How romantic. Yes, Naomi said, looking around. Very unexpected. All of it. In one corner of the room stood Jasmine, Marcus's mistress. She had been introduced as his new marketing executive, young, attractive, in a very expensive dress. She chatted calmly with some colleagues as if nothing were amiss. Marcus Chen, congratulations on your anniversary, said Mr. Michael Richardson, the CEO of Marcus's company. Rarely does one see such solid couples. Thank you, Mr. Richardson, Marcus replied, shaking his hand. Today is a special day. I even prepared a very special speech. A speech? Naomi's throat went dry. Barbara Chen went from table to table, receiving compliments for her good son and the ideal wife he had. Her eyes glowed with satisfaction. She knew what was about to happen. At a small table in the back, a man in his 50s in a dark suit sat very seriously. Naomi didn't know him, but she recognized his picture. Attorney Johnson, the lawyer. He was there in case a signature was needed. Dear guests, the voice of the master of ceremony sounded over the microphone. May I ask for your attention? Marcus would like to say a few words in honor of his wife. A silence fell. Everyone turned toward the main table. Marcus stood up, took the microphone, and smiled broadly. Friends, thank you for being here on this important day. 25 years is no small thing. It's a quarter century alongside one person. The guests nodded, raising their glasses. I've thought extensively about our life together, Marcus continued, about what united us, what made us happy, and what didn't so much. Naomi tensed. It's starting, she thought. And I realized something very important. People change. What seems right when you're young can eventually turn out to be a mistake. The ballroom grew quieter. People exchanged confused glances. 25 years ago, I chose the woman who would be my life partner, guided by youthful emotions. But life taught me to see things more clearly. Marcus, Naomi murmured, what are you talking about? The truth, dear. It's time to stop lying to ourselves. He turned to the guests, his voice harder, firmer. Dear friends, I want to be honest with you and with myself. For 25 years, I endured a life with a woman who is not right for me, a gray, boring woman who doesn't know how to be the partner of a successful man. The ballroom erupted in surprised murmurs. Marcus, are you crazy? Someone yelled. Quite the opposite, he said calmly. I'm finally thinking clearly. Naomi needs to understand this. Our marriage is over. I'm filing for divorce. The room was stunned. Some gasped. Others held their hands to their chests. His mother, Barbara, smiled triumphantly. Furthermore, Marcus continued, feeling emboldened, I want a fair division of assets. Naomi must leave the penthouse. It's time for a new life, new relationships. He looked pointedly at Jasmine, the blonde, who stood in the back, barely concealing a victorious smirk. Is this a joke? A woman asked, bewildered. Are you in your right mind, Marcus? His boss demanded. More than ever. He replied coldly. I have the right to be happy and I'm going to exercise it. Naomi will receive what the law dictates and we will separate on good terms. And that young girl is your new conquest? One of Naomi's friends shouted, pointing at Jasmine. Jasmine is a wonderful woman. She understands what I need, Marcus said openly, unlike other people. That was enough. Naomi slowly rose and gently took the microphone from her stunned husband. Thank you, Marcus, she said in a quiet, almost sweet voice. Very honest. The room fell silent. Everyone expected tears, drama for her to run out. You know, dear friends, Naomi continued, Marcus is right about one thing. Enough of the lies, and I want to speak the truth too. Marcus frowned. This was not in his script. The truth is, I knew about this whole charade for 3 weeks. I knew about Jasmine, about Attorney Johnson, who's right over there in the corner, and about your plans to make me waive my rights to the penthouse. Attorney Johnson turned pale and tried to slip out unnoticed, but annoyed guests blocked his path. Naomi, what are you talking about? Marcus tried to interrupt. That your plan fell apart, darling. You see, she said, pulling a folder from her purse. You made a tiny mistake. Our penthouse is not a shared asset. It was a gift from my parents in my name before the marriage. I have the document from the real estate attorney. Marcus took a step back. That can't be. And what's more, Naomi continued, 3 weeks ago, I received an inheritance from my Aunt Constance in Switzerland, a luxury apartment in Zurich, another premium property in Santa Monica, and over $1 million in liquid assets. The silence in the room was absolute. So, M, what property division are you talking about? You'll get half of the cabin and half of your car. Everything else is mine. Jasmine against the wall turned paper white. And now the fun part, Naomi said with a smile. Do you know how much your successful man spent on this little play to publicly humiliate his wife? $48,000 of our joint savings. The guests began to murmur in outrage. But I'm not spiteful, Naomi continued. Marcus, you are free. Take your wonderful woman, as you called her, and live wherever you like. Just not in my penthouse. Wait, Marcus whispered. We can talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. Johnson can leave. I don't need him anymore. She then turned to the guests. Dear friends, I apologize for ruining your evening. But sometimes the truth is more important than appearances. Thank you for coming. Now you know who is who. Naomi placed the microphone on the table and walked toward the exit. Behind her, a scandal erupted. Marcus, you are a complete scoundrel, a woman yelled. How could you do that to your wife? 25 years and you pulled this. Jasmine tried to leave discreetly, but a furious group of guests blocked her path. And what about you, homewrecker? Did you think stealing another woman's husband would be easy? Have you no shame? Barbara Chen went from table to table trying to explain, but no one listened. Meanwhile, Naomi walked out of the restaurant and breathed the cool night air. Freedom. She paused at the door and looked back at the chaos inside. Through the large windows, she could see the house of cards Marcus had built over months collapsing. He was in the middle of the ballroom, pale, confused, like an actor who had forgotten his lines. The microphone lay on the floor, guests yelling around him. Mr. Michael Richardson, the CEO, approached him. Marcus Chen, I am deeply disappointed in you after this show. I think we will have to review your position in the company. But Mr. Richardson, you don't understand. Marcus stammered. It's not what it looks like. Naomi twisted everything. Twisted? Interjected Rebecca, one of Naomi's co-workers. We all heard what you said. 25 years enduring a colorless woman. Aren't you ashamed? In another corner, a different scene unfolded. Jasmine, finally realizing her dream of living in a luxury penthouse was over, pushed her way through the angry guests. She grabbed Marcus's sleeve. What's going on? You promised me a penthouse. Where's the money you gave me for our new life? Shh, Marcus whispered, nervously looking around. Not here. Why not here? Jasmine yelled, growing hysterical. I've been waiting for 4 months. You said we'd live like royalty after the divorce, and now what? Guests turned, curious, some already recording on their cell phones. Stop it, Marcus pleaded. We'll talk later. But Jasmine let out a bitter, almost hysterical laugh. Talk about what? You don't have a penthouse or money. You fooled me. She turned to the guests. Do you want to know the truth? This successful man promised me riches for 4 months. He bought me jewelry with his wife's money. He promised me a huge downtown penthouse. Jasmine, shut up! Marcus screamed in desperation, but it was too late. And he also took out loans using their shared assets as collateral. She spat out, getting carried away. He thought his wife would never find out. He took $22,000 from Wells Fargo and another $18,000 from Chase Bank. He spent it all on me. The room was silent. Even Naomi hadn't known about that. Barbara Chen, who had tried to be inconspicuous, rushed toward him. Your son. What is this woman saying? What loans? What inheritance of Naomi's? Mother, now is not the time, Marcus mumbled. Not the time. I mortgaged my estate to give you money for the lawyer. And now what? How am I going to pay another blow? Even his mother was now in debt because of his scheme. Wait. One of the guests intervened. Did I understand correctly? The 3 of you planned to deceive Naomi. No, 3. 4. Jasmine injected venomously. The lawyer, Johnson too. He was going to make her sign the waiver to the penthouse. Everyone turned to the corner where Johnson had been sitting, but his chair was empty. The lawyer had already bolted. Snake! Barbara Chen shrieked, lunging at Jasmine. "This is all your fault. You drove my son crazy." "My fault?" Jasmine retorted indignantly. "It was your son who seduced me. He told me his wife was a fool, that he'd manipulate her easily. Men separated them just as a fight almost broke out." "What a disgrace," a woman said loudly. "Mr. Richardson, doesn't Naomi work for you?" "Yes, and she is the best financial analyst I've had in 18 years," the CEO said firmly. "After this circus, the only thing I'm going to do is raise her salary. And this guy," he looked at Marcus with contempt, "should look for another job. With this reputation, he won't get far." Marcus went back and forth between his mother, his mistress, and the indignant guest trying to fix something. "People, you don't understand," he yelled. "I have the right to be happy. 25 years is too much." An older woman approached him, Aunt Margaret, Naomi's aunt. "And did you think about how she felt living 25 years with an egoist like you?" Aunt Margaret is right. Other family members of Naomi supported her. What a disgrace. People like you don't belong in our family. Good thing Naomi found out in time, added her cousin Derek. Otherwise, you would have kept fooling her whole life. "Hey, what if we upload this to social media?" one of the young guests said. "Let everyone know who this guy Chen is." "Yes." Others agreed. "We have to trend the hashtag Silver Anniversary Betrayer." "No, wait," Marcus begged. "Don't do it. This is my private life." "Private?" Jasmine laughed. "You humiliated your wife in front of 100 people, and now you care about privacy." Slowly, the guests began to leave. First Naomi's family, then her co-workers, and then their acquaintances. As they left, each one gave their opinion. Marcus Chen, a colleague, said on his way out, "After tonight, don't even say you know me." "What a shame for the family," a neighbor muttered. "And now, how is he going to face people?" "You're trash," one of the men said bluntly as he passed. "You exposed your wife like she was a joke in front of everyone." Half an hour later, only the protagonists of the drama remained in the ballroom: Marcus, Barbara, Jasmine, and a few waiters watching curiously. "Now what?" Jasmine asked, fixing her disheveled hair. "Do you have any money at all, Em?" "Where from?" he complained. "I spent it all on the party, and your gifts and the loans. Who's going to pay them?" "I don't know. Maybe I'll sell the car." "The car?" Jasmine laughed bitterly. "Are you crazy? That won't even cover the debt." "And what about me? I left my boyfriend for you." "I don't know," Marcus repeated. "I don't know what to do." Barbara Chen sat with her face in her hands. "And what am I going to tell Johnson? He charges for every consultation, and I even put my house up as collateral." "Mother," Marcus said, approaching her, "we'll find a solution." "A solution?" She lifted her face, her eyes red. "In my 70s, I'm left homeless because of your foolishness." Then Jasmine stood up, adjusted her purse, and said, "You know what? I'm leaving. You two are utterly useless. Em, don't ever call me again. And the money you owe me for the last 4 months, forget it. Consider it a payment for this life lesson." She paused at the door and turned. "Your wife is one exceptional woman. It's a shame I only met the real her today. Those are the women who deserve respect." She left, the sound of her heels echoing sharply. Marcus and his mother were left alone in the ballroom amidst half-eaten plates and spilled glasses. And Barbara said softly, "What if it's not too late? What if we go see Naomi and ask for forgiveness?" Marcus shook his head. "It's too late, Mother. You saw her face. She will never forgive us. Then what are we going to do? I don't know, he repeated for the third time. I swear I don't know. Meanwhile, Naomi was in a taxi back to the penthouse watching the city lights. In her purse, she carried the titles to 3 properties and a bank statement showing over $1 million. The driver, an older man, looked at her in the rearview mirror. Beautiful night, isn't it? Yes, Naomi said, smiling. Very beautiful. You could say it changed my life. That's good. Some days just change everything. That's exactly right, she replied. Everything changed, and indeed, her life changed forever. 3 months later, Naomi was in court watching the life of the man she had been married to for 25 years fall apart. Marcus looked 10 years older. Gray hair, a worn face, an inexpensive suit, instead of his usual designer ones. The judge, an elderly woman with reading glasses, reviewed the documents carefully. Very well, she said finally. The court decides the following. The penthouse on Lombard Street in San Francisco is the separate premarital property of Mrs. Naomi Chen and is not subject to division. Marcus panicked. His lawyer, no longer Johnson, but a young public defender, just threw up his hands. The cabin property is considered marital property and is divided in half. The same goes for the Lexus vehicle. Your Honor, Marcus's lawyer stood up. My client used that vehicle for work. Denied. The judge replied dryly. The vehicle was purchased with common marital funds. Naomi said nothing. Her friend and lawyer, Diana, smiled discreetly. Everything was going according to plan. Furthermore, the judge continued, it was proven that Mr. Marcus Chen concealed significant debts from his spouse. A $22,000 loan at Wells Fargo, an $18,000 loan at Chase Bank, and a $9,000 quick loan. The total debt is $49,000. But those are his personal debts, the young lawyer protested. According to Family Code Section 42, the judge replied calmly, debts incurred during the marriage are the responsibility of both parties. However, since the money was not used for family welfare, but for the personal affairs of the petitioner, he shall be solely responsible for their repayment. Marcus went even paler. $49,000 in debt, and it was all his. This court solemnly decides, the judge concluded, to dissolve the marriage between Marcus Chen and Naomi Chen. The respondent retains the penthouse and all bank accounts. The petitioner retains half the cabin value and half the vehicle's value. No spousal support is assigned as there are no minor children. The gavel strike marked the end of a 25-year marriage. Leaving the courthouse, Naomi felt a strange peace, as if a great weight had finally been lifted. Naomi! Marcus shouted. Wait! She turned. Her ex-husband stood on the steps, clutching a folder of documents. What do you want to say? Forgive me, he said in a low voice. I was a selfish fool. You didn't deserve what I did to you. Naomi looked at him closely. Was it sincere remorse, or did he just want to make her feel bad? Marcus, she said calmly, I don't hold a grudge. We're just very different people. You wanted an easy life at others' expense. I am used to fighting for what is mine. Could we see each other sometimes as friends? No, Naomi replied softly but firmly. I'm sorry, but no. It's better if we each go our own way. She turned and walked toward her car, a new elegant Audi she had bought with part of the Swiss inheritance. Life continued and everyone got what they deserved. 1 month after the divorce, Marcus lost his job. The video of the anniversary party went viral on social media, and his company's CEO no longer wanted to deal with the scandal. Marcus Chen his boss told him on that last day. I can't have someone on my team who made such a public spectacle. But I'm a good professional. Maybe so, but your reputation is in the gutter. I'm sorry. Finding a job was difficult. Everyone recognized him. The video even had the hashtag anniversary betrayer trending. Nobody wanted to hire a man like that. He ended up working as a rideshare driver with his old Toyota Corolla, which he had to buy back from Naomi for half its value, $16,000. He now lived with his mother in her small two-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of the city. Barbara had to sell her downtown estate to pay the debts and buy something smaller and cheaper. She would say to him at night, looking at the cracked walls, "Don't you wish you had listened to me? Never gotten involved with that Jasmine?" "It's too late, Mother," Marcus would reply, counting his day's earnings. Too late for regrets. And Jasmine, she was more than fine. 2 months after the scandal, she married a 52-year-old entrepreneur who owned a chain of cafes. He was wealthy, though not very smart. He believed her whole story about a toxic relationship with a married man. The wedding photo Jasmine uploaded to social media showed luxurious bouquets and gold jewelry. The caption read, "Finally found true love. Hashtag happy, hashtag new life." Marcus saw those photos and let out a bitter smile. Jasmine got what she wanted, a husband with money. But it wasn't him. Naomi lived a completely different life. She moved to her Aunt Constance's investment property in Santa Monica. It was a spacious, light-filled condo with a view of the ocean, a true oasis amidst the city's energy. She didn't want to be a financial analyst anymore. With the money she inherited, she opened a small publishing house, specializing in translations of European literature. It was her lifelong dream. "Naomi Chen," Mr. Richardson said when she resigned, "we don't want you to leave. Are you sure you won't reconsider?" "Thank you," she replied with a smile. "But I found what I'm truly passionate about. I'm dedicating myself to books." "Well, I wish you the best of luck. And you know what? After everything that happened with your ex-husband, many of our female employees look up to you. A woman has to know how to defend herself." One evening, her friend Diana came to visit. "You look so content," she asked, looking at the cozy living room. "Do you feel avenged?" "You know," Naomi replied thoughtfully, "I don't feel vengeance. I feel relief. That wasn't vengeance. I just defended my rights. The truth always wins, even if it takes time." They drank tea on the balcony, watching the lights of Santa Monica shine. "Do you regret those 25 years?" "No," Naomi said, shaking her head. "Those 25 years taught me something invaluable, to only rely on myself and to value honesty above everything else." Her publishing house employed 6 people, talented young translators. They published beautiful books in small editions for those who appreciate good literature. Naomi, her editor, Ashley, said one day, "Your story is very special. My mom told me she was at that anniversary. She works with your ex-boss. She says there are few women like you." "I don't consider myself a strong woman," Naomi responded. "I just decided not to be a victim." 1 year later, she received a letter from Marcus. "Naomi, I don't know if you'll read this. I just want to say that I understand. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I lost you because I was foolish and greedy. I don't ask for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I just want you to know that you deserve the best in the world. Be happy, Marcus." Naomi read the letter and filed it away in a drawer. No anger, no sadness, just a memory of a past life. That night, she went out onto the terrace with a cup of coffee. Santa Monica glittered with lights. Music played in the distance, and the air smelled of ocean breeze and jasmine flowers. She was free, financially independent, doing what she loved. And for the first time in many years, she felt truly happy. In another part of the city, Marcus drove his old Toyota, carrying passengers, thinking about how one can lose everything in a single night. Yes, the truth always conquers the lie, even if it sometimes takes a while. Did you like my story? And which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you like the story, you can support me by sending a super thanks, so I can keep bringing more stories like this. Thank you so much for your sweet support. I'm looking forward to your comments on the story. On the screen, you can see two new life stories that I highly recommend. There's so much more on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story. With love and respect.